Hello there. My name is Adam, and here on Zoom, our favorite place to hang out is my pal Mark O'Connell. We
Hello.
are in a hi. We're in a band called
Hi.
Taking Back Sunday, and we're going to do a track by track for our record Louder Now, which, if you can even believe it, came out 15 years ago when we were all the tender age of 7 years old.
Mhm. So young. I do. Didn't Adam? Didn't you come up with that riff? The that oh,
Yeah,
the
well, like for the longest time, we had like the verses, like because Eddie came up with the jin 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 part, and then I was over at Fred's house. He had just moved up to New Jersey, in Jeff Pereira's old childhood house, which was crazy. But so he had just moved there, and I was staying there because we were like working on like the like the vocal arrangements. And I stayed up late on his deck one night and I was like, man, we need like a big dumb riff like Queens of the Stone Age would have. And then we came up with that riff. And then I was really nervous to show it to Fred because I'm like, he's not gonna think this is complicated enough. And then I showed it to him and he was on board, and then yeah, and everybody was on board with it. And that's one of my favorite parts of that. And in the bridge is one of my favorite kind of bridge moments in any of our song. Well, I
it's a
have,
nice bridge. It is a nice
yeah,
bridge.
there's like right before the vocals come in when you do like that doom 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 doom, and then it
Yeah,
drops in on the one. Oh, I love it.
and it's one of my click beats. I love
Yeah,
those. You know what I mean? That's my
snare clicky
go-to.
beats. Yeah,
Yeah. Whenever
there's
whenever I don't know what to play, I think to myself, maybe I'll try a click beat on the rim of the snare here, and it usually always works.
never never doesn't work. There's I remember too coming up with the like a lot of the words for that song I wrote at I would go to Hi-Fi, which used to be Brownies, and now it's something different, but it's like the best bar ever. And it was on it was on Avenue A between 10th and 11th, and I would just hang out there, and I had like a sidekick, and I'd write in my sidekick, and I remember coming up with the chorus and everything sitting at like the corner of that bar.
That was a fun bar. I only went there a few times, but it was definitely a fun bar to go to.
One of the first internet jukeboxes ever.
Liar.
Liar.
Liar. I like Liar. I still love playing Liar live. It's a really fun song to play live. People like
That
it too. That helps.
yeah, that fill that you do into the is it the second chorus? Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Gotta go is so great because that was
It goes a
also it's
little
a,
longer, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's yeah, like the all the other instruments, like you're coming in uh one, two, three, four. So like yeah, like you're just coming in like a half bar or a bar later than all the other instruments, which
And
is
the snare hit is on the two.
yeah, that's what it is. So which is pretty great. And then also one of the first key changes we ever put in a song. I remember trying to get my head around that because at the time I just like music theory. I hadn't really dabbled in it yet. Like I don't know what I know now. So I was just like, what just happened in this song? Because you can feel it lift you up. And
Mhm.
then and then I was like, oh, it's like a party trick.
Do
And
we have any other key changes in any other songs, or is that it?
we do. There's like one or two other ones. I just can't think of them right now off the top of my head. Like there's one on the self-titled record that has it. Uh, but but yeah, I really like that. I also really like that we got because like I feel like on Where You Want to Be, the record before it, we got away with a lot of like kind of policey type gu- guitar stuff, like the plink plink, and like there we just went full on in those verses, and I really like that part of the song. Well, there's for us when we were doing like when we did the video for Liar, they had us dressed in like these uh like bright blue and bright red suits because it was and then we were in front of a green screen. And so it's really hard to and it was at the time, I just remember feeling so ridiculous. I'm like, because I was having a hard time even picturing what it was going to look like, you know, like I just like, we really like the concept and but it was like hard for me to visualize. And then, so I just remember feeling, feeling like, uh, not like a very cool guy when we were doing that video, but then it came out great. Like I was like, oh, thank God, like we were able to like move past that, or the fact that
Well,
we were dressed like clowns.
one thing that many people in that video came out, like almost all my friends that saw the video asked me why my pants were so hot. Like, because when I sat down at the drum, like when I was standing, the pants fit normally, but then when I sat down to the drums, the pants came up really high. So I remember 3 or 4 of my friends going like, why are your pants so high up in the video? I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know.
Did you ask them, why are your pants so low down now?
I should have.
I'm a real cool rock and roll guy. This is how we wear our pants, real
that's
high.
What I should have. God damn it! If I can go back in time, I'd say that shit.
I wish that I know what I know now.
I was on Instagram one day, fairly recently, and I went to hashtag Take Back Sunday, and I ended up just on videos of people making videos, and that song, like young kids, older people, just with babies in it, and this and that, and it was just people like with the song in the background doing their own version of it, and I was like, man, what an insane thing, and how lucky are we to be part of something that is still going like that and people love. Very cool, you know?
Yeah, dude. So cool. There's I remember with MakeDamnSure, I remember being in the studio when I feel like I finally got the chorus right, and then the guys playing it for everybody for the first time and just being really pumped. And that one was kind of the one that everyone like gravitated towards early on, out of all the songs that we had for Louder Now, like from like Eric Valentine, everybody at Warner, and all of us included, we were all kind of like felt really strongly about that one. Another funny story, which I've told before, is that in the bridge is a message that was left on my answering machine that's like super sad. And I remember I went to Eric and I was like, hey man, in the bridge when it breaks down to just that beady 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 guitar part, could we put this message in there really, really low? And he was like, yeah. And then so like I just gave him my phone, my Sidekick at the time, and then went outside. And then about 20 minutes later, Fred came out and was like, yo, you gotta come back in here. We can't keep listening to this. Can you just tell us exactly what you want? This is everybody's so bummed right now. Like not because it was a bad idea, just because the message was so sad. So yeah, so that's in there if you listen close on headphones.
We do like a little break, right? In it, there's a couple of things.
We've found that in like we've been extending the bridge, which is real fun. And then too, there's this really kind of amazing moment in the set that we caught on to, that like on that last chorus, if we stop in this one spot, then it's like everything goes silent except for the entire room singing along together. And that's this like big moment of like fellowship and like this communal kind of experience, you know, that I honestly didn't, that I think maybe I started to take for granted, because it's not until after like a year that's been this fucking bonkers that I like really, like that was just like a real a real cathartic thing, and really healthy to experience with everyone. And I really appreciate how fortunate we are to be able to experience that with people.
That part, actually, there was one night where I messed up, actually, and I just was kind of played like, ha, 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 like, and I stopped and I was like, wait, what am I doing? But then when I stopped, everybody sang along. And then I remember after the show, we were like, yo, we should do that right. We should like figure out how to do that, have everyone
Happy
sing
accident.
along. Yeah, it was a happy accident.
Oh man, I totally forgot that that's how it came about.
Yeah.
Which makes the story even better, because it was totally a moment that could have been complete disaster, and then but it turned out to be something that is extremely special.
Just real quick, the last thing about that song, like Adam brought up our studio that we played, we did a lot of writing in city. It was on 32nd between 7th and 8th, I think. And
yeah,
I remember,
dude, that Amadeus Pizza was around the corner. It's fucking good.
Very good. But I do remember when Adam first sang the chorus and getting chills, like my hair sticking up type thing, and knowing right away, like, yo, this is the song. This is definitely the song immediately.
Up Against was one that like Fred brought, and he had a lot of it worked out already. And then I remember having a hard time getting on board with the words at first, because it was very like straightforward. And then that one took a while to grow on me. And then, but once it did, I mean, that one's super fun to play live.
We didn't play it live for a very, very long time, up until we did the 20 years of Taking Back Sunday tour. And it was fun to play. It was really fun to play.
Yeah. My Blue Heaven I was so pumped on that one, because it took me a long time. I just remember to get the lyrics right for that. And the chorus was actually something that Fred had from a different idea that just happened to work with the other, because I had everything but a really strong chorus. And then so once we plugged that piece in, like the whole thing just opened up. And I really love how in the bridge, like it gets like towards the end of the bridge, like it gets so small, and like you're right there, like our noses and our foreheads are touching, like a Viking hug. And then it just explodes, there at the end. And I really like that about that song.
That chorus too, I feel like that's like, how like Timberwolves in New Jersey, the verses were kind of going bum 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 bum,
yeah.
And I feel like with that chorus, it's the same type of feeling, different, but same type of thing. And I don't think that there's many choruses where we do that. So that's different and cool about that song.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember having conversations like, should we, or because we kept talking about, and the songs have nothing to do with one another, but Tears of a Clown, because it's one of the only choruses that like goes down in like popular music, that we could think of. And then or just like going back and forth and like, should we change this? Should we approach it differently? And then that example coming up and us being like, okay, it's good. We'll keep it like that. 2020 Surgery is one of my more favorite songs on Louder Now, which I don't think everyone agrees with me on. And then
I gave like Adam a hard time about playing that song for a long time, because I didn't enjoy playing it that much. I didn't enjoy it the way that you enjoyed it, and I felt like there was something missing from it. But I don't feel that way anymore. I really enjoy playing it, because I think I found my comfort zone with it, with whatever, with the speed or whatever that we're playing. So I didn't like that song for a long time, but I do very much like it now.
I remember that was another song that when we were recording it, I didn't have a chorus for it. And Angel, who my roommate at the time, well, I was his roommate, he had just gotten LASIK surgery. And then so the joke was like, oh yeah, you got that 2020 surgery. And then, which has a different meaning now, of course, because of the year. But then and then I was trying to think of another way to just that saying of like, hindsight's always 2020. And then so we use that. So that's pretty funny because it started as a joke.
You know, that bridge is really cool of that song. And also, if I'm hammered during a show, I'm like, oh my God, come on. Like, it's like a puzzle for me if I'm too drunk. Like, but that is a pretty fun bridge.
Dude, well, what's crazy about the video for 2020 surgery is it only came out in the UK and Europe. Like, they didn't release that in the US. Of course, now it doesn't matter because the fucking internet and YouTube and shit. But back then, there was, and then we were, because I guess that the UK division of Warner Brothers like really was digging on that song, and then but for some reason the US division of Warner Brothers wasn't really digging on that song. So yeah, but that video was awesome to make. We went to this old abandoned prison outside of Los Angeles, and I like think the idea that I was telling the director, I'm like, yo, like let's make it like you know, like Johnny Cash when he played at San Quentin. Like let's do something visually that will kind of look like that. But also going to prison would be terrible because that, man, like even just being in that building just didn't feel good.
I think about that often, going to prison. Yeah. And how much of a bummer it would be. I enjoyed hanging out with the extras of that video. They were very cool.
Yeah, they were awesome. Just like
I remember
dudes.
They were hard. They were some hard dudes. Like some of those dudes had definitely spent time in prison for real.
Yeah.
I remember one guy gave me his rap CD. And he asked me if I can give it to someone at Warner Brothers. And when he said that, I was like, well, that's our E&R guy right here. I'll give it to him right now. Craig Aronson, rest in peace. He was a good man. Yeah. And I remember Craig going, I don't want it. Like, why do you? I'll listen to it. And I'm going like, hey, man, it's just one of these guys. I told him I would give it to someone at Warner Brothers, and you're here right now. So here you go. Yeah. Spin. I love that song. That is one of my favorite songs off this album.
Yeah, that Spin is definitely one of the harder, faster songs that we have. Like I remember there were nights to where, or like live, you know, like playing it live, like when it would come up on the set list, like I would have to take a minute and get my head right because I'm singing so much and at the very top of my register the entire time, except for that little bit in the bridge. And then but it's amazing. And then I remember too, like, because Mark, you kind of get your get a Metallica moment in there, like right before the bridge. Yeah. There's what's crazy too is like for you, because then after that part you go straight into that hi-hat. Yes. Dude, like it is relentless, that entire song, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, the president of Warner Brothers, what was his name?
Tom Whalley.
Tom Whalley, thank you. He wanted that to be the first single, I remember, and I thought that was very cool. I thought that was really cool of him.
You're like, this guy's my guy.
Yeah.
There's I remember Spin magazine had written something about it, and they were thinking it was about them because it was called Spin. but it wasn't. And I thought that was really funny.
Did you think you're so vain?
You
You probably
think
this
the
song is about
you.
you.
So, but yeah, there's yeah, and I always thought that was really funny, like when I read that, because I got the magazine, and then like it was already crazy just to open that magazine and like be in it, and then but they were never super fond of us, and then so like when that came out, it was funny to read. We always take a lot of time during the sequencing of the records, like what song's gonna go in like what order. And Divine Intervention we thought was perfect for after Spin, because Spin is so brutal and relentless, and then here you are with this like kind of like small, gentle kind of acoustic based song. That one was so much fun to record because I recorded the vocals on the roof of Barefoot. I don't know why we went on the roof, you know, in hindsight, but Eric is a mad scientist, and then so I think he was going for 100% vibe, and I really love how it came out, because there's parts in that song when you listen to it that like you can hear like cars going by, like dogs barking off in the distance and all that, and then there's something about that recording that really takes me to a different place, and that's one of my favorite things, is when, you know, you can listen to anything, be it like something you've made or another record you're a fan of, and it like takes you somewhere, you know, like that's always what I'm looking for. I want to go on a ride. There was with Miami, that was one of my favorite songs on that entire record, and I remember for the longest time Mark and I would argue about it all the time, because Mark's like, this song is not good, and I'm like, this is our best fucking song. And there was, for me, like I remember, or like there's a guitar solo in it, and we've never done that before, and I remember saying to Fred, like, yo, like we just signed with Warner Brothers, we're making a record with Eric Valentine, let's just fucking show them everything we can do, and this is a thing you can do. And then so I was so pumped, and
he did just that solo is sick.
Yeah, solo is dope. And then like there's two, like I like the like just the whole, even like the vibe of that song, I was kind of hoping that it could be like lean a little more to kind of like this like not like not 80s, because it's definitely not that, but just more of this kind of world, that to where, I mean, I don't know what to just I wanted it to lean more Strokes than it did Scene We Came From, and then and I think in its own way it does that, and that's one of the reasons I like it so much.
Yeah.
Error Operator, yeah, or yeah, playing that song live is so much fun. There's also one that's relentless, like from start to finish. That song was actually first recorded, we worked with Ariel, and it came out on a Fantastic Four video game right around the time that first Fantastic Four movie came out, with Jessica Alba and Captain America. So that I remember, yeah, so we worked on that with Ariel, and then we all just loved the song so much that we were like, yo, it has to go on the record. And yeah, so there's another version of it floating out around.
I have not heard that version in a very long time. I actually completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard it since before we recorded Loud Enough.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
Good song though. It's also very fun to play. Kids always flip whenever we play that song, so
yeah,
it's fun.
Track 11, I'll Let You Live, was I remember we wanted to, or just like I was saying with Divine Intervention, how whenever I hear it, like it takes me out of wherever I am, you know, it takes me someplace else. And then so I'll Let You Live does that um faster and stronger than Divine Intervention does, because it's kind of like just this, like I think the tempo and like it gets kind of slow and sludgy, well, as sludgy as a Taking Back Sunday song could get. And then so it just like the whole time I listen to it, like it, there's this uneasy feeling that I get. And Eric really helped us to capture that vibe, you know, like that feeling. That's what we were going for. And it's I it has become, because like Mark was saying, like for like the tour we did in 2019 of kind of like celebrating 20 years of just being a band, we were playing that song live, and it became one of my favorites, because it's just I just think it's just a really great song. Also a real cathartic song too. You know, like I remember doing the vocals for that, and then just like, cause how it was set up was there's he had like in the studio, like you'd go, if you're going to the control room, you would walk through, like I guess, or like the room where like the tape machines were. So but then they had kind of blocked it off, and then like that was the vocal booth. There's like a window in the door to the control room to where I could see through to see them. And then I just remember like just being so, it was like I had nothing left, like just having to tell Eric like in this tiny little voice, because I couldn't my voice stopped working after that one. And then just being like I like that just took every little ounce of whatever I had in me out. So yeah, I really like that one. What about you, Mark? What do you think?
I recorded the first thing that came to mind when we brought that up was how you said we played it live. That was one thing in 2019. And I remember saying, like, when we talked about it, saying that, like, I felt like it took a while for people to get that song, but now they do get it. Like when we played it, everybody was flipping out when we played it and really getting it. Also, when we were recording it, I recorded the drums in that big echo chamber at Barefoot.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, dude.
That also came to mind. And man, that song, it starts off, you know, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a heavy song, but at the end of the song, like you said, sludgy, but it's also very heavy. It's that ending, man, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And I love that song.
Yeah, the ending of that song would take your lunch money.
Brooklyn.
So Brooklyn was, I remember, so we had a rehearsal space. So like there was one room that we had that was where we did like early on, before we moved into like the main room, like when we had the recording set up and all that. And Brooklyn was one that like I just had like these really simple chords for, and then Fred really like he expanded on them, and it became way better in my mind. And then too, like I was there's this whole part in the chorus, like if you see something you should say something, and then I was just taking, like I was living in Bensonhurst, so I was just taking the train in every day, and I would see that, because that's their whole their campaign, you know, and for like like fighting terrorism and all that in New York City. And so I just saw it so much that it worked its way into one of our songs.
Those posters they're still up. They still got those.
Yeah.
That song should have been on the album. I remember thinking this is a mistake that we're not putting this song on the album. I thought it would have brought it. Even, you know, albums, I love the album, but man, that upset me when it didn't make the album, because I thought that song was awesome.
Yeah. That, and there's too, like I think I'm really proud of the really proud of those lyrics too, which I
I
am
got
of
to
the
go
whole
back.
record, but
Right.
that's that one specifically.
I'm going to go back after this and I'm going to listen to that song because it has been a very, very long time.
Sleep,
Sleep.
man.
Yeesh.
Sleep was one of my favorites too. Man, I really love that song. Like I love how the or like just how the whole thing moves, you know? Like it's like um I just remember hearing the finished version and just being like, holy, I cannot believe I get to be in this band. Like what is happening? And so I was really proud of that. And then like what Mark was saying about, you know, not having Brooklyn on the record and thinking that's a mistake. Like I think both of these songs, you know, Brooklyn and Sleep, like I think
Yeah.
not
They,
see, yeah, like not like leaving them off, you know, like because because I think too that people, well, hopefully people will find them or like have found them because they're really special to me and I would hope that they'd be special to somebody else too.